but I want to talk about another difference maker in this game, Victor Wembanyama. We call him the alien. He was otherworldly today. Difference maker is an understatement, Steve.
Did we just witness the start of the NBA's next great rivalry? The Thunder were 24-1, winning 16 straight, looking like an unstoppable machine rolling toward the NBA Cup title. Nobody could touch them until Victor Wembanyama stepped back on the court and the entire energy flipped in an instant.
Watched by Caruso. Wembanyama got it back, fires, and it drops.
The Oklahoma City Thunder weren't just beaten, they were humbled. At the center of it all stood a 7'5" alien, fresh off an injury, leading a group of fearless young killers who didn't care about the odds. The Thunder rolled into Vegas for the second straight year, using the same formula that made them a juggernaut. Blowout wins, suffocating defense, and just enough clutch execution when games got tight. They tore through the Cup group stage, going a perfect 5-0, winning by almost 25 points per game. That dominance reached a new level when they obliterated the Phoenix Suns by 49 in the quarterfinals. The biggest beatdown anywhere in the league this season. But while OKC was flexing their dominance, San Antonio was grinding in silence. The Spurs took a completely different route. Half their Cup games were played without Victor Wembanyama. And still, they fought their way to a 3-1 record, clinching West Group C with a clutch road win in Denver right after Thanksgiving. Then came the quarterfinal showdown, a date with the star-studded Los Angeles Lakers. The Spurs weren't supposed to win that one, but tell that to De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper, who went off for 63 points on 24 of 43 shooting. LA couldn't keep up. Their defense was shredded by San Antonio's three-headed backcourt monster, and this was only the second time all season those three had actually played healthy together. Most teams collapse against OKC's suffocating waves of defense. They come at you full speed, connected, relentless, turning games into blowouts without needing to win shootouts. But San Antonio isn't most teams, and they got the perfect news right before tip-off. Victor Wembanyama was back. After missing 12 games with a calf strain, the Spurs' franchise cornerstone was finally cleared to play. Even on a strict minutes limit, he was exactly what they needed. Everyone thought the Thunder were untouchable, but the Spurs had a secret weapon, an alien in human form. This was supposed to be another OKC massacre, but San Antonio came to fight, and fight they did. The stakes were real. This wasn't some throwaway regular season night. Every player on that court knew hundreds of thousands of dollars were on the line for the winning locker room. After a shaky start, the Spurs hit back hard. They took control of the game, outplaying the reigning champs in every quarter except the first. The Thunder might have been the defending champions, but that title meant nothing to Victor and his squad. San Antonio showed zero fear and total belief. They were coming for blood. The Vegas crowd got their money's worth that night. The Spurs started cold, missing open looks and falling behind early while Wembanyama sat out the entire first quarter under his minutes restriction. It looked like a disaster waiting to happen. But the moment the second quarter began, everything changed. Victor checked in and instantly flipped the script. The arena's energy shifted the second he touched the floor. In just 3 minutes, he snatched offensive boards, erased a shot at the rim, dived on the floor for a loose ball, and sparked a fiery 9-2 run that cut OKC's lead to just 4. The fans went wild. Then, just as fast, Wembanyama went back to the bench, and almost instantly, the Thunder pounced back with their signature run. But that short stretch, those 3 electric minutes, made it clear. The storm in Vegas wasn't coming from Oklahoma City anymore. It was coming from San Antonio. That's the thing about Wemby. He doesn't just play the game, he reshapes it. When he's on the floor, everything bends around him. When he's off, that entire shape collapses. During the middle stretch of the quarter, with him sitting, Oklahoma City exploded with a 14-4 run. It looked like the Spurs were losing their grip. But once Victor checked back in for the final 5 minutes of the half, it was like flipping a switch. Suddenly, the Spurs were alive again. They ripped off a 13-0 run to close the second quarter, turning what looked like a runaway into a dogfight. At halftime, the Thunder led just 49-46. And Wemby, in barely 7 first-half minutes, was sitting at an outrageous +20+-. That's wild. When the third quarter started, Victor stayed on the bench, but the Spurs' momentum refused to fade. De'Aaron Fox came out swinging, slicing through defenders to give San Antonio the lead, and a smooth Devin Vassell triple made it 62-56, forcing OKC to call timeout. From there, it turned into a gritty tug-of-war. Every possession was a war zone. The Thunder tried to tighten the screws, but the Spurs just kept answering. Even during Wemby's rest minutes, San Antonio kept their composure. When he returned, he looked tired but still terrifying, blocking shots, altering everything at the rim, and making OKC work for every single point. The Thunder started clawing back behind their stars. Alex Caruso creating chaos with those sneaky steals that flipped into transition buckets, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going full superstar mode with 29 points, hitting impossible shots like they were layups. Jalen Williams kept the energy high too, but even then, this didn't look like the same team that embarrassed Phoenix by 49. With just over 5 minutes to go, Wemby checked back in for one last push. The air in Vegas got tense. The Spurs were hanging onto a fragile lead deep into the final minute. Then disaster nearly struck. A gassed Wemby missed a free throw, giving OKC a chance to tie with a 3. That's when Spurs coach Mitch Johnson made a gutsy call, intentionally fouling Chet Holmgren with 8 seconds left to stop any miracle shot from deep. Chet hit 1 of 2. What followed was pure chaos. A wild scramble for the rebound, bodies flying everywhere, Caruso getting a fingertip on the ball but it refused to drop. The buzzer sounded, and that was it. Final score, Spurs 111, Thunder 109. Wembanyama's presence defined the entire game, but this wasn't a one-man show. Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, and Devin Vassell all came through with massive moments. Even Luke Kornet, who only scored 2 points, made his mark with screens, rotations, and hustle that don't show up on the box score. On a huge stage with real money and pride on the line, the Spurs didn't blink. In a tight 2-point game, every possession mattered, every loose ball mattered, every inch mattered. When Wemby sat, the Spurs knew what time it was. They had to scrap for every rebound, dive on every loose ball, and turn speed into chaos. And they did exactly that. Once their superstar checked back in, they went full throttle, leaning into the same blueprint that's carried them all season. San Antonio out-rebounded OKC, crushed them in second chance points 16-6, and despite coughing up the ball 19 times against one of the league's most suffocating defenses, they still won the points off turnovers battle 26-25. That's wild because that's normally how OKC kills teams. Defense into instant offense, those quick 10-0 bursts that bury opponents. But not tonight. The Spurs took those punches, absorbed the pressure, and hit right back. Every time OKC made a run, San Antonio had an answer. And you can't overlook the difference maker, their three-point shooting. The Spurs started ice cold, missing their first 12 threes and digging a deep 12-point hole. But they stayed calm. No panic, no forcing bad looks, and slowly found their rhythm. By the end, they'd nailed 13 of their final 30 from deep, a blistering 43%. Devin Vassell led the charge, drilling 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. And here's the crazy part. Both teams took the same number of free throws. San Antonio lost the turnover battle and they only scored 40 points in the paint, yet they still won. In a game like this, that kind of math only works when your threes start falling, and the Spurs hit them when it counted most. And just like that, a 2-point swing decided everything. Experience still belongs to Oklahoma City, but poise, that belonged to San Antonio tonight. It all started with their superstar's perfectly timed return. Victor Wembanyama reminded everyone why he's already one of the most game-altering forces in basketball. San Antonio survived a nightmare start because Wemby squeezed every ounce out of his limited minutes. Then, in the second half, he smoothly shifted into a more controlled rhythm as the Spurs found their groove. Down the stretch, they made every clutch play they needed, snapping OKC's record-tying start to the season and punching their ticket to the NBA Cup Finals. And get this, he did it coming off the bench for the first time in his career. Wemby dropped 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks in just 21 minutes. But those numbers barely scratched the surface of what really happened. Once he checked in, OKC's entire offense warped around him. Drives to the rim vanished. Open threes turned into panic shots lofted over his endless reach, and the Thunder's usual rhythm completely collapsed. With Victor patrolling the paint, the Spurs' perimeter defenders turned into sharks, swarming ball handlers, jumping lanes, and forcing the defending champs into mistake after mistake inside T-Mobile Arena. And that crowd, wow, Vegas sounded like San Antonio South. MVP, MVP! Chants echoed through the arena as OKC scrambled to contain the 7'5" phenom. Even with his minutes restricted, Victor poured in 15 points in the fourth quarter alone. The numbers told the story crystal clear. Plus 21 when he played, minus 19 when he sat. You still think his presence doesn't change everything? But don't get it twisted. This wasn't just a one-man takeover. The Spurs had 4 players score 20 or more, led by Devin Vassell's 23, with Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox each putting up 22 right beside Wemby. Castle carried over that same fiery aggression from his 30-point quarterfinal explosion, driving straight into the heart of OKC's defense, challenging Chet Holmgren and any big who dared step up. His 2 buckets midway through the fourth were massive, first trimming the deficit to 1, then a ferocious two-handed dunk that gave San Antonio the lead. That dunk nearly turned into an and one, and it sent the crowd into chaos. Vassell, meanwhile, led the scoring but played with surgical precision when it mattered most, drilling 2 enormous threes, sinking 3 ice-cold free throws, and locking up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on multiple late-game possessions. Spurs fans used to worry about his inconsistency, but now he's thriving right next to Victor in this fearless young backcourt. And when the game needed calm in the middle of the storm, when the clock was bleeding out and OKC kept clawing back, San Antonio turned to De'Aaron Fox. Whether it was drilling clutch free throws or knocking down a dagger from deep, Fox showed why he's one of the league's coldest closers. His composure under pressure is pure gold, the kind that separates contenders from pretenders. Early in the third, when Wemby was still resting, Fox completely stabilized the team, opening the half with 3 straight buckets to keep the Spurs ahead. And even if his closing stretch wasn't flashy, those 5 quick points in the first 2 minutes of the fourth, a pair of free throws and a right-wing 3, gave San Antonio the breathing room they needed. This wasn't just another win, it was a statement. We already knew Wemby was the future, but after this night, maybe the future has already arrived. Under the bright lights of Vegas, this young Spurs core didn't flinch for a second. They faced the defending champions, played through exhaustion, and kept their composure like veterans. The grind they've been through is insane. Since November 20th, the Spurs have been on the road 20 of their last 22 days, with only 1 home game in that stretch. Nevada was the 10th state they'd played in during that run. Over 5,000 miles of travel. That kind of schedule breaks most young teams, but not this one. And on this night, against one of the hottest teams in basketball, they broke the juggernaut. The Thunder, who led by as many as 16, suddenly looked mortal, shooting just 41% from the field and a brutal 24% from deep. Their all-time best 16-game winning streak, gone. Remember, OKC came in as the league's most lethal closers. In clutch moments, they had a ridiculous plus 41.4 net rating, the best in the NBA. But the Spurs didn't care about numbers, stats, or history. They walked in like they owned the place and proved they belong among the elite. And after the final buzzer, Stephon Castle said it best. People say the Thunder unbeatable, but we come into every game feeling like we're unbeatable too. That's not arrogance, that's belief, the kind that turns a team of talented youngsters into something far more dangerous, contenders. That's a bold statement coming from such a young squad. But after this game, they've earned the right to talk big. Their confidence has officially gone sky high. We just watched the supposed best team in the NBA crumble against a San Antonio team that hasn't even hit full gear yet. Can you believe that? This win didn't just shake the standings, it sent a warning across the entire league. Nobody is safe anymore. The NBA's balance of power is shifting, and it's happening fast. The Spurs aren't just on the rise. They're becoming a problem, a full-blown San Antonio problem. And if Victor Wembanyama keeps ramping up like this, we might be staring down an NBA crisis. Defenders can't game plan for him, teams can't slow him down, and the Spurs' confidence is spreading like wildfire. So what do you think? Can San Antonio finish the job and take down the Knicks in the NBA Cup final? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of this wild Spurs run. And if you love this breakdown, go ahead and check out one of the videos on your screen now. You don't want to miss what's coming next.